East Africa is an amazing place. It's the single greatest and most concentrated production line of world-class talent on earth. And can you imagine a place that has 66 of the world's best 100 marathon runners? Can you imagine a country that has not lost an Olympic event for 32 years, or a world championship in that discipline? It just completely borders on the absurd. I mean, the achievements are so significant, I thought I needed to work out what was going on here.
How did you find the ethos in the training camps? How much do you think the support system over there influences how well they do at an international level?
The Kenyans do the basics extremely well. It's all about doing the basics well. If you put the training in, if you eat well and if you sleep well, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
And the Kenyans do these basics incredibly well. So if you speak to any East African athlete, they prioritise their running as the single most important thing in their life. And it's all about that. They take their athletics extremely seriously. They also treat sleeping and eating as part of their training. So you won't see an East African athlete eating McDonald's or drinking Coke and stuff such as that. It's all about freshly prepared food or organic food from their garden or from the local market.
Yeah.
And sleep. Not only are these guys world-class athletes, but they are also world-class sleepers. The thing that's not unique to Kenya, but certainly is a big part of the success, is the amount of exercise that their kids do. So on average, a kid in E10, when they looked at it, exercises for an average of 5.5 hours per day. If you compare that to our kids in Scotland, it's less than an hour.
Yeah.
So if you're building that sort of lifetime of training, then inevitably these guys are going to be faster when they grow up. But essentially, these kids are really, really hungry. They see athletes driving around in fancy cars or cars at all. They see cars, they see hotels owned by athletes, they see athletes having fancy watches, and they all want that. They want a wee bit of affluence. So to escape the extreme poverty of the area, there are very few ways out, be it through education or be it through an athlete.
So to what extent does genetics have on your running ability?
They've looked at this extensively, and there's no doubt that you can't polish a jobby. So you can't actually go from being someone that is terrible at running to being amazing at running. There is a genetic element to it. But what they've shown is that being East African doesn't actually mean that by rights you are likely to succeed. Essentially, there are people that are genetically able to succeed in every population on Earth. Experts like Yanis Pitsoulidis have been looking at this for tens of years and have never found anything. But what they have found are other characteristics that do lead to success. Namely, the ability to train hard, to eat, to sleep, to prioritise that, to make use of good role models, to use the altitude successfully. So there are many, many factors that are necessary to be a world or Olympic champion, but none of these by themselves are sufficient. It's not just about having the good genetics. It's about doing all these other things. Because athletics, the standard is massively good at the present moment. So essentially you have to be doing all these things to succeed.